Hi, welcome back to Sacred by Design with Lorene Youngblood. And today we are going to continue the series on design basics. And I would like to talk to you about how human beings use space. This will typically come into play most especially with islands, bar tops, and peninsulas. And remember, peninsula is the long countertop that comes out from a wall and typically has an overhang where people sit at. So the first thing we need to know is how people sit in spaces when they are either alone or together. And the first thing is that standard practices are 2 feet per person in any space, whether it's at a table or a bar top, island, any type of overhang where we're eating. Now, that's if one, it's really crowded and we know the people really well that we're sitting with. Specifically when we're in a residential or at home, if it's family or kids, we're more likely to sit closer together if it is a crowded space. However, when people have room, what they will do is back up away and sit sideways. And then what we're talking about is a minimum 2 to 3 feet away from the edge of either the table or the bar top overhang, and a good 3 feet of width the human beings will take up if they have the room. And so that's where we start to feel comfortable, where our personal bubble isn't invaded, especially if you're entertaining and the people don't know each other very well, or they are only, typically it's only as we start to get into couples and families, children, siblings, that kind of thing, where we're more comfortable sitting, shoulder to shoulder. And that's when that 2 foot by 2 foot space really applies. But if you really want to give people room to move comfortably, 3 foot by 3 foot is what we will typically take up if we have that space available. So you want to keep that in mind when you're designing how many, or deciding how many chairs or stools to put at a bar or counter, how many chairs to put around a table. Also, in a lot of residential settings, that island or that peninsula, that countertop that has the bar stools sitting against it, are connected to the dining room area. And so you want to make sure there's enough room for the chairs to back away with people in them from that countertop, and then also room for the chairs to back away from the table if people are also sitting there, if you have a really full space. And then what happens to the space in between? So if it needs traffic flow, then you need to incorporate another 2 to 3 feet in between. And now we're talking about a 9 foot space between the edge of a counter to the edge of a table for comfortable seating and movement. Now, granted, in smaller spaces, some of this is going to get condensed. I'm in a dining room now where the table sits closer to the wall. So on that back wall here, we only need enough room to back the chairs up because people aren't going to be walking behind us. However, on the other side, we have a good 5 feet because we need room not only for people to sit, but for people to walk around and get into the kitchen while you're sitting at the dining room table. So please keep that in mind around how much space people take up and how you want to allow that or restrict that in the spaces that you're designing. I hope that helps, and we will move on in the next video to talk about how to lay out spaces so that you can visually see what's going on and make better decisions before you put something in permanent. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.